Hello, hello. It's me, Mythical Moon, and we're back for another contestant analysis for Season 13 of Myth's Game Show's TWOW. But before we get into revealing all the contestants, I got a few announcements to make. First of all, thank you for 100 views. First off, I know 100 views is an awfully low bar for most people, but honestly, it's a good deal for a smaller YouTuber. I don't even make videos. I just make videos about my game shows, and that's it. I do appreciate the support for the people on the server who check out the videos and just watch it, just watch me ramble about the contestants. It went well last time, so definitely it's going to go well again. So I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. 112 isn't very bad for like a 239 subscriber YouTube channel. At this rate, the viewer to subscriber ratio is better than some of the mainstream YouTubers. So hey, I'm goated. But yeah, that's not the main announcement. Also, the round 1 result video from season 12 almost got 1,000 views, so that's pretty cool as well. Didn't know my 12 was that popping like that. Anyways, next up, we got something else new to introduce as well. The statistics spreadsheet. The link is in the description, and I know the public spreadsheet doesn't really have much. It just has a live contestant list. And the design is different from the last few seasons where I just followed a very similar template, but now it's back. A new style, and honestly I do like this style. It's pretty simplistic, but at the same time it has a live tracker of all the contestants with their personas, so you get to see in real time when people join how many contestants there are, because it's connected to the private sheet. Just keep in mind that because it is connected to private sheet, that round 1 results may be a bit laggy because since it's connected and that's where calculations take place. And you should expect the contestant sheet to lag and not work at some point during the early rounds. But I feel like once it becomes round 5 onwards during the voting phase, this will not be an issue. Just because there's so many contestants on the early rounds using the calculators like 300, 200, 400, where it takes time to input the votes, but it still runs fine on the calculators. And well, round 1 is going to be a fun round. Regardless of how many contestants we get, it's still going to be a great time. Assuming we get above 400 or 300 again. But yeah, let's get to the main show, the meat. The reason people watch this video. It's not for the other stuff. It's for me analyzing these contestants and got through there relatively quicker than last time because I don't have to explain what TWOW is. If you want to read an explanation, just watch my previous video or join the Discord and I'll ask you questions. Pretty much you just get a prompt and respond in 10 words. It is pretty simple like that. But yeah, let's analyze contestants 51 to 100. But yeah, first we got Soft. He did compete in the mini season. He had a very unique response. He's also an EWAL and he's more known for being an orc player, but he's back, number 51. Next up is Crazy Blues. Crazy Blues did play in season 12. Now he hit the double-digit territory, but was not quite there, and has gotten a glow up in terms of the persona and made alumni in the last mini season, so he's looking to make double digits and possibly even alumni. Next up is Yoshi Kid, a OG to this 12, competing all the way back in season 1. Even though he did take some time off, not competing much in the earlier seasons besides season 4, he did come back. He kind of started out underwhelming with a round 1 exit, but he has popped off, making it all the way to alumni in season 11, getting 21st, but only gets better from there, getting 8th place. The top 10 of the biggest 12 finished on Discord. Can you believe that? I believe it's probably going to take the title of biggest Discord 12 to be finished soon, but I want to enjoy my glory when I have the opportunity to enjoy the glory. And so far, I've had over a year to enjoy the glory, so let me enjoy the glory for a bit longer. But yeah, next up is Soraik, whatever your name's pronounced. First off, he started out as an identity theft, as he was a kill, one of the 2 kills, the more successful kill, as the other kill died early and then gave up in the dungeon, and since then left the server. But this kill still competes, participates in the writing competitions, and has gone far. He even made alumni in the first caption season, even though he usually gets out early due to Twist screwing him over. He's here looking to go far, and because it's just pure Myths game shows, Besides the increasing elimination rates and dungeon, he is looking to do even better than ever before. Next up is Turix. I think that's how I say your name, but he's been a newer member of TWOW Central. He's been well known for his art. I sometimes pop into the art studio channel TWOW Central, and he's always bringing something great. I mean, I gotta respect the artists over in that server who produce great art. I mean, art is not easy. It takes time and experience to make something great. And something I learned from making art is that usually you are your biggest critic. So yeah. Next up is Ryan School, a former moderator on the server before he became pretty inactive. Yeah, he did participate from season 8 to 12, played every time, but outside of season 9, he has not broken the 200 territory either from throwing or memeing, or just not responding. I mean, his record has not been the best yet. And next up is Uncle Larry, once again with another glow up. I mean, his book is fantastic. I mean, he has a very unique responding style, and that very unique responding style has never got him to the double digits twice, coming close to the top 100. And next up is Joseph, a new TWOWer. I mean, he came from TWOW Central, and according to his nickname, this is his third TWOW, so it's nice to see people branch out into the community, getting their foot in with Discord TWOWs. I mean, there's EWOW, but then you join the Discord TWOWs, giving them a chance, and who knows? This is the biggest TWOW that's not EWOW. That's not the OG TWOW you'll get for a while. Outside of like Abulia, but yeah, those TWOWs don't come often. So you gotta embrace the opportunity when these TWOWs are around. And this seems to be a very good time. Well, maybe not the best time for me, but very good time for these contestants. The next up is me. No, I'm not competing in my own TWOW. No, I'm not competing. It's not me I'm competing, it's someone named me competing. So yeah, that's what I mean when I'm saying me. Since I'm not competing in my own TWOW, that does not make sense to play my own TWOW. Even with so many contestants, I already have an advantage with the prompts. I already know the responses. No thanks. Maybe I'll make a failure response or so just to see how far I would make in theory. But I don't want to actually compete. Anyways, came from org servers, and now I was ready to take a shot on the mini TWOW. Next up is Josh Friend, another org player. I actually played in an org with them, and they won the org. While their org skills transfer over into this season, and hey, you did predict that this won't get triple digits, but it did get triple digits. But I don't think you estimated the testing growth properly because org growth is a bit different. Next up is Ridley 5. I mean, come from a different side of Discord. I mean, the game leagues. Even though he's done orgs, I mostly known him from like Uno leagues and rock paper scissors leagues. But now he's taking his shot on 12. I mean, trying all the Discord game shows at this point. Next up is Duffy Turtle, the only veteran of this TWOW on the slide. I mean, just like Jocelyn, I did play in an org with him, and he won that org. I mean, I'm just good at pulling winners of orgs I play in over to this TWOW, I suppose. But Duffy's track record has not been that great. He had an alright season 11, and made it to round 2 in the Riddle Murder mini season, but besides that, his track record has not been great yet. But now we get Tangerine Fish. I mean, they saw my status, they were curious, and I mean, good job. I mean, my status was hosting a writing competition. I did not specify 12 so I can like get, a broader audience because I'm in few non-12 servers, and I'm like, I gotta take the opportunity just in case some people are interested, and I gotta, branch out. A contestant is a contestant at the end of the day. Next up is Sign Guy V2. Started out in season 3 as an old schooler, disappeared for a few seasons, but has been a consistent participant ever since season 9. I mean, at season 12, he had a very strong run, making it double digits and even coming close to the alumni territory. Well, next up is TJ. TJ did place top 10 in the EWOW round before, I believe. I think round 2 or round 3. And he's played in the mini season, but didn't do too well. But now he's going to take his stuff, hoping for a strong run here, and taking the momentum he had over in EWOW over here. Next up is Dojolf, competing every single season here, from season 1 to season 12, including an official competitor on the All-Star roster of 80 players, one of the most stacked seasons. I mean, even though he hasn't been making alumni territory much outside season 5 and season 2, he did make a comeback run in season 11, and never pulled off the same feat in season 12. When his motivation is up high, he's here to go far, and I'd like to see it. But now we get Finno, another consistent contestant. Besides him missing Season 6, he has been around pretty consistently. He's played in Season 5, he's played Season 7 through 12. And even though he did struggle to make alumni, his performance in the Murder Duo TWOW, which happened slightly before Season 5 around the same time, has helped him get All-Stars where he was able to pull off alumni in the most stacked field. We had some of the best old schoolers, we had some of the best new schoolers. It was a very stacked field of contestants, a battle royale even. But yeah, made it top 10, and then made alumni in Season 11, even though he did not submit, having a heartbreaking exit. And then came back in Season 12, making top 10. Then we get Cornelius, an org player, and a rookie to this TWOW, even though he's not exactly a rookie to this server, as he played in Uno tournaments and a mini season. But he's looking to bring that mini season performance as he made alumni, and I think we made top 5 as well. And to the main deal. Next up is Yoshi Pipe. Congratulations on taking 69. I know you were eyeing out for that title, but congratulations. You're one of the few Yoshis competing. I mean, so far it's just Yoshi Kid, but considering the population of Yoshis, it's only going to get more populated, so oh boy, we're going to get a ton of Yoshis here. But yeah, looking to represent the newer generation of players, has been relatively active in the server, so that's a W. But now, next up is Barrow Z Goat. I think that's how I say your name. I mean, got the anime character persona, came from Oryx, played in the mini season, died round 1, hoping not to die round 1 this time. I mean, difficulty is a bit not so difficult because the elimination rates aren't going to be as brutal. I mean, we see how it goes. Next up is Pinkman. Pinkman has been a consistent participant since Season 6, and even though he has yet to break triple digit territory outside of barely doing it in Season 6, he's been showing relative success, nearly doing it in Season 11. I mean, so mostly his downfall has been the dungeon format. I mean, he has not submitted in the dungeon format, and that has haunted him. The dungeon is a curse for him. Now, next up is Wrong Mitzi. I mean, it's their first time competing since Season 9, so last pre-All-Star season. And well, they narrowly made top 100 in Season 6 back in a more competitive era of TWOWing. But I mean, they did play in the Caption Comp, but it's their first TWOW season here for a while, so welcome back into it. It's nice to see older faces come back. But next up is 4.5. Yes, we came to a point where we got numbers competing in this TWOW. Things would just need 0, 1, you get the point. But yeah, we get the certified math book and we have a number, so good job. And it's not like 69 or 420, it's 4.5, so I gotta respect that. Next up is Jezza Cozy, I think that's how I say your name, a newer contestant, come from TWOW Central. Just like a lot of our rookies, I mean, TWOW Central is a goated advertising tool. I mean, it has been carrying, so thank you TWOW Central for giving me this opportunity to promote it in your server and have it in the sign-up channel, because if not, then I'll just be, going over in org servers begging, the org advertising is a different show. At least in TWOWs, it's more simple, so I appreciate that. Next up is Casual Mitosis Collective. Died round 1 in Season 8 and had some sort of a redemption arc in Season 12 until they decided to quit during the season, but they're looking to do better. I mean, they got a new name, they got a rebrand, and now they're back in action. The next up is Golden Pizza, coming from a Borderlands server, and I think it's his first TWOW. But I mean, gotta keep the pizza gold, but he's looking to do well, and I don't really have much to say besides that. Next up is Rami, another contestant who's been around from the start. And unlike the other contestants who've been around from the start, he is representing the IRL gang. And so far, since the first time since Season 9, I'm not counting Season 10 since none of the IRLs were All-Stars. I mean, Rami was a DLC, but still. He's the only IRL to be competing. I mean, it's possible we may get another IRL, but I'm not really pushing it. I'm not going to go up and bug my IRLs, because a lot of them competed, a lot of them kind of got bored of it, and especially with the mini season, especially with all of that, so I kind of get it. So yeah. Next up is Slither Doodle. I mean, came from the Abilene wave, had a decent showing in Season 11. I mean, and then I don't think he necessarily tried that much in season 12. I mean, I'm not sure how well he's gonna do. I mean, he's back, and I don't think he's been as active in the community anymore, but he's back for the Myths game shows because who wants to miss out on Myths game shows? But yeah, next up is Super Bacon Bro. I mean, another EWOWer, and has the jukebox from Minecraft in his persona, so representing the rookies. Next up is Nick781. I mean, an old school 12er, and if you have not seen him in the Uno space like MRE and UOL, you'll be surprised to see him join because he's an old schooler. I mean, he was very active back in the 2017 days of the TWOW community. And he had a decent showing in season 11, never making 100. But now he's back in action for his first TWOW in a very long time since season 11, so good job. Next up is Tusa Muir. I think I saw say it. They've been a pretty active member over in 12 Central. So yeah, it's nice to see active 12 Central members take their shot onto this 12, especially the newer generations, seeing how well they do and branch out to the community as a whole, and possibly other games in the server as well, because I definitely can see growth in the Uno tournaments. I definitely can see growth in the other games hosted in the server, and I definitely want to try hosting other games in the server. So it's like to reach out to a broader audience. Next up is Geographic Discovery. I know that's not exactly how the name's pronounced. Now it's because there's a 2, but it's pretty much your Geographic Discovery. I mean, got a pretty good persona drawing. I like that style of, I like those styles. It's pretty simple, but it's a pretty neat style. Now, next up is a faster slowpoke who got a sword, so I might be a bit terrified, but I do like the glow in the persona. At this point, I'm just complimenting people's personas. So next up is Heart, someone who came from a Borderlands server. I mean, and he's an EWOW, so he does have some TWOW experience, but this is the first Discord TWOW he's encountering. Next up is Skipper45, someone who's been very active in the TWOW community, more specifically 12 Central, so we're seeing another 12 Central member branch out to the, I mean, they were already doing mini 12s prior, but now branching out to the world of Myths game shows. Next up is Our Ninja 1116. I mean, is it necessary for me to say these numbers? Probably not, but I'm gonna say them anyways. Narrowly made alumni in season 12, made top 30 with a very impressive rookie run, especially because his round 1 response was questionable at best. Actually, not questionable at best, it was just controversial, but has improved. And if you can tell, I decided to remove the background because I did not feel bothered to deal with a full background look, and the background remover tool I used did not track it because of how it was. So I had to do it by hand. And that was something I did not want to do and something I don't want to do again. So thank you for making me suffer with removing the background because you made your book on some notes app on your phone. Now, next up is Arrow BVV. I mean, even though he said he's going to be quitting, I'll let him compete anyways for this round because, I mean, a contestant is a contestant after all. And I had a similar policy where if you quit round 1, I'll still let your response in. Because, well, it's round 1 and you can just not submit the next round if you make it through. I mean, it's simple as that. You already submitted, so might as well. I mean, it's not going to hurt your rating system score after all because there's no tolerant rating system anymore. Oh boy, next up is Reputation, Janie's version. No, I did not advertise this in a server full of Taylor Swift fans. That's just his name. Do not sue me. I'm not dissing on Taylor Swift, but at the same time I kinda am. But yeah, it's back. Played in the mini-season, played in the Uno tournaments, and now it's looking to take a shot here, hoping to do better. Next up is Blue Tan Cyan, who came close to surviving the first round of the mini-season, but wasn't quite there, and is looking to redeem himself. Next up is Cairo Joy. I think that's the correct pronunciation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Another newcomer, but not new to the server, has participated in a handful of other games, such as the Uno, and pretty much just Uno, but he's played in orgs as well, so he's kind of experienced the holy trinity of Myths game shows, with him joining the TWOW. Next up is Pi. Pi has not competed since Season 6, and so far, I think that is the longest gap. I mean, Season 6 was the 24A wave, and now he's back in action, more active with EWOW, and that being a good time as well. I mean, he did make double digits back in Season 6, and made around 6. So yeah, it's all about 6s here, but now he's back in action. Next up is Nova. Even though they seem new to competing in mini 12s, I don't think they're exactly new to 12s as a concept. I did see them in 12 Central a few times. I do have seen them around, but yeah, they're not that new, and they're looking to make a run. And I don't know how well they're going to do, but they're hoping to do well. Next up is It's Twiz, another contestant who's been around in every season. We have 3 of them this time. We just need Yuxinator and G-Man to join, and we'll be set. All 5 who played in the 12 seasons come back for season 13. I mean, representing the old scores. I mean, had solid season 2 and season 3 showing, but as his motivation and interest dipped, he hasn't been making it as far. I mean, he did have a comeback in season 12, making it top 150, but besides that, you can tell that his interest has not been there anymore. Next up is Price Tag Fanatic. I mean, coming from 12 Central, they also have been super active, so it's nice to see another member super active, ready to go far, ready to have a good time. I think this is their first mini 12. Next up is Magneti Boy. I mean, for a while in 12 Central, they were not liking mini 12s, but decided to give it a shot, so shoutouts. Good job on deciding to give a mini 12 a shot, and I'm honored that you decided to give this mini 12 a shot. I mean, it's big enough where calling it mini is debatable, but I would have to be 491 for it to be promoted from mini to not mini. Next up is Normal Ben. I mean, Normal Ben did have a solid showing in season 12, and since then has been promoted to an actual Buxona instead of a default Buxona, even though it was the same thing in the mini season, but promoted to an actual Buxona in the main season. Next up is Ranger. Played in a mini season coming from Org servers, didn't do very well, died round 1 I believe. Now he's back in action, hoping to redeem himself. And next up is Aaron. Aaron has been a competitor from the original 12 back in 2015, 9 years ago, I believe. Well, yeah, I can do math. Approximately 9 years ago. Almost 9 years ago, yeah. And he's an Evo and was pretty active in 12 Central. Was looking to take a shot on mini 12s, looking to have the skills transfer over. And now 2 more competitors. We get Jack 4, someone who joined the server pretty recently and already has shown success, winning a Quiplash event hosted by the one and only Mysterious Grim Reaper. And last but not least is Reed, even though that's not going to be his name for much longer in this 12, as the other Reed has joined as well. And you know how to differentiate competitors with the same name. I'm just going to go off their username now, so yeah, you have been demoted from Reed to Read It. I think that's how I say your name, but yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like pronouncing usernames, but yeah, had a solid showing in season 12, getting the funny number. But yep, that is it. Thank you for listening. And yeah, before we end, I just want to update the distribution chart instead of posting it in the server. So here's how it's looking. So obviously we got the most is the newcomers, as I have not hosted a 12 season for sign up since like January, February 2023. So that's been like a year and a half ago. So it does make sense that the rookie class is the biggest field. I mean, more than half the contestants, and rookies tend to respond earlier than veterans. So after that is season 12. I mean, it's not surprising that the most recent seasons, the one with the most joiners, excluding the rookies, then we get seasons 1 because the OGs, some of the OGs are still sticking around from the beginning. Shoutouts to them. I mean, even though you're not going to see someone from season 1 who only competed in season 1 come back in season 13, that is highly unrealistic. So yeah. Then we get season 6, the most competitive era of TWOWing, and one of the biggest waves as 24A came along and 12 Central was advertised on Carry KH for the very first time ever. Then after that is season 9. I mean, after the Abaleo wave, I believe 12 Central was promoted again and had one of the biggest Discord files of all time, dethroning me, dethroning Purple Gaze, and yep. And then season 11, I don't know why in particular that was a big wave also, but probably because new org players, and also the fact that it was after season 10 and it was a decent wave and competitors were hyped to compete again. Then after that we moved to number 3, which season 3 and season 5. Season 3 was the first time I hit triple digits. I mean, I was just a 13-year-old, and ever since then I've been living the luxurious lifestyle of having 100 contestants from the young age of 13, 5 years ago. And good thing is, the streak does not break. But yeah, season 5 was at the start of the pandemic and was a very active time for players on the internet. Like, yeah, And if there was a pandemic that happened today, oh my goodness, activity would be scarily high. That would be terrifying. But yeah, season 5 was a time a lot of veteran players, and it was also a time where a lot of 12s were around, and there was no reason to miss 12s because there was really nothing much to do. And we get season 7 and 8. I mean, both somewhere impact. I mean, had a ton of new players, but a lot of these new players kind of faded out, kind of phased out in the shadows because, well, they lost interest and, well, stopped using Discord as a whole because their Discord accounts were pretty much only online during the season, and like they disappeared afterwards. Then season 4 only has one contestant, which shoutouts to you, Augie. I mean, I doubt Augie will be the only contestant from season 4 that's there in season 4 playing. But season 4 was one of the more stacked seasons. We had a lot of veteran twowers. It does make sense that a lot of the veteran twowers have phased out, not just from this 12, but 12s in general, considering that was in 2019 and a lot of them just have a life now or just don't really care for 12s anymore. But yeah, and season 2 only has 0. I mean, that's not surprising because season 1 is an early season, but I mean, that sets the foundation and the original contestants. But season 2 having 0, I mean, it's likely that's not going to stay 0 at the deadline because there's some season 2 plugs I do see joining. I mean, some of them are still active in the TWOW community. I'm looking at one person in particular. You know who you are. But yeah, so far the contestant distribution is like this. And if you're wondering why it's a 102 instead of 100, it's because at the time of making this video, it's 102 contestants instead of 100 contestants. So, yep, the 2 contestants who submitted afterwards, you just have to wait till wave 3, but the waves probably will be done faster once, you know, like, more submissions comes in, and the last day video, so that's going to be fun. I might consider just putting all of it in one and just, like, doing a blitz review just to get the job done faster and make the video not so long. Well, yep, that's it. Thank you for watching, and of course, if you haven't joined the Discord, or if you haven't joined the season at all, then check out the season. You have less than 5 days to do so at the time you're watching this video, assuming you're watching it on the 20th and not like next year. But yeah, go ahead, join the season. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all later.